Hello class, today we are learning how to multiply polynomials. The essential question, how do I multiply polynomials? Learning intention, I'm learning to multiply polynomials. You've got two warm-up questions. These are adding and subtracting polynomials. So please pause the video and see if you can do those on your own. If you can, then you know you've got the concept down, you're understanding. Okay, I hope you tried. What you do is, if you're adding, nothing changes. All you do is rearrange them with like terms. So I'm going to start by looking at the largest exponent. I've got 3 here. That's the largest exponent. 2, x to the third. Now I'm looking for my x squared terms. Minus 6x squared. Do I have any more? Plus x squared. Now my numbers. Plus 8 minus 16. Combine your coefficients. 2x to the third comes down. Negative 6 plus 1 is negative 5x squared. 8 minus 16 is negative 8. And we are done. Now what's the difference when we subtract? Well, subtraction is adding the opposite. So I'm going to change everything in here to its opposite. And then I will rearrange and do the same process again. Okay, I'm looking for the largest exponent, which is x to the third. I'll start out minus negative 5a to the third, not xa. Okay, I want to look for x squared terms. I keep going, I've got plus. Remember we changed that. 8x squared. 8a squared. Okay, I've got my a squared term. Let's go to a. Plus 3a. I keep going, it's minus 6a. Add my numbers. Plus 10. Minus 8. Now we're ready to simplify by using their coefficients. I don't have but one a to the third and one a to the second terms, so I can just rewrite those. 5a to the third plus 8a squared. Now I looked at my a terms. I've got 3 minus 7. Well, or 3 minus 6. 3 minus 6. 3 minus 6 gives me 3, and it's got to be a negative 3a. 10 minus 8 is 2, so it's plus 2. If you're still struggling, please do some more practice, because this will be on your next quiz. Okay, when we are multiplying polynomials, there's different types of polynomials we can multiply together. If we're doing a binomial, that means it's just one term on the outside. Makes it quick and easy to do. 5 times x squared is 5x squared. Minus 5 times 25, 5 quarters gives me $1.25, and I am done. On the next one, the same thing's going to happen. However, this time it might be a little bit easier to distribute by writing it out. 4x squared y times 4xy. That's the first two terms. Plus 4x squared y times 6x. Remember, when we're multiplying, we add our exponents. 4 times 4 is 16. X squared times x is x to the third power, because if it is not there, it's understood to be 1. Y times y is y to the second power. And we've completed the first term. Plus 4 times 6, 24. X squared times x is x to the third. Bring your y down, and we are done. The method I would like you to get really comfortable with when we go bigger than a monomial is what we call the box method. The box method is simply a schema to help you stay organized. If you notice, I've got a binomial times binomial, and I've got 2 and 2. 2 rows and 2 columns. I've got 2 terms in each of them. That's how you know how many rows and columns you need. You start out by putting 1 up above, and you keep the symbol with the number. So this is x plus 6, x plus 4. Now, if I was to do a perfectly vertical and perfectly horizontal line from each of these, they intersect here. That means that the first box is for x times x, which is x squared. Same thing again, if I did those perfectly horizontal and vertical lines, they come together here. 6 times x is 6x. I'm done with my top row. I do the same thing again. They come together here. 4 times x is 4x. 4 times 6 is 24. The really nice part is that you look for your diagonal. Your diagonal is where you have to combine like terms. The x squared comes straight out. 6x plus 4x is 10x. The 24 comes straight out. So the answer is x squared plus 10x plus 24. Hopefully that makes sense. If not, back the video up and watch it again. The next one is the same type of situation, only this time we've got a coefficient for our x term. Does it change how we do anything? Nah. 2x plus 3. 3x plus 4. Now I could have switched these around because we know multiplication is commutative. Order does not matter. Let's get started. 2x times 3x is 6x squared. 3 times 3x, 9x. Now I'm going to multiply everything up here by 4. 2x times 4, 8x. 4 times 3, 3 times 4 is 12. Once again, we combine on the diagonal. 6x squared. And 9x plus 8x is 17x and 12. So the answer this time is 6x squared plus 17x plus 12. Any questions? It's always around the outside. The next one is the FOIL method. I like to call it the smiley face method. FOIL stands for first. So you're going to multiply your first terms together. O stands for outer. Outer terms together. Then your inner, I stands for inner terms. And finally, your last terms. Okay, why does it look like a smiley face? Well, let's look. First terms, I go from here to here. That's the top of his head. 4x times 2x is 8x squared. Outer, this goes underneath. This is his chin. 4x times negative 4 is negative 16x. Now we're to the inner. Negative 8 times 2. 2x is negative 16x. Finally, your outer. Negative 8 times negative 4 is positive 32. When you do it this way, you still have to combine. If you notice, it looks like this is the top of the head, this is the smile, that's the chin. Kind of looks like a smiley face. In this case, you are only worried about what's down below. Negative 16 plus negative 16 gives you negative 32x. So this is 8x squared minus 32x plus 32. Okay, to make it more interesting, we're going to do a trinomial by a binomial. If you're multiplying a trinomial by a binomial, you really want to have 3 columns and 2 rows. It makes it match up much better. We still do the same process where we put the x squared and keep the plus with the plus 6x plus 8. That goes across the top. This is x minus 4. Okay, where they would come together, x squared times x is x to the third. 6x times x is 6x squared. 8 times x is 8x. I'm done with the first row. Now I multiply everything by negative 4. Negative 4 times x squared is negative 4x squared. Negative 4 times 6x is negative 24x. 8 times negative 4 is negative 32. If you notice, this time we have 2 diagonals. That means we've got 2 points where we have to combine like terms. As you're looking at the table, 3, 2, 1. Your exponents going across your row are in descending order. The same thing happens from top to bottom. 3, 2. If I had another one, I'd have a 1 down here for my next exponent. Let's put it all together. X to the third. 6x squared minus 4x squared is 2x squared. 8 plus negative 24. 8x plus negative 24x. 24 minus 8 is 16, but it's a negative because the 24 is bigger. And then minus 32. So as you're looking at this, this is x to the third plus 2x squared minus 16x minus 32. Okay, pause the video. Can you do the next one all by yourself? Please try. Well, I hope you tried. Let's get it set up. X squared minus 5x plus 14. X plus 2. Let's start with our first terms. X squared times x is x to the third. Negative 5 times x is negative 5x squared. 14 times x is 14x. We're done with the first row. Let's go to the second. 2 times x squared is 2x squared. Negative 5x times 2 is negative 10x. 14 times 2 is positive 28. Once again, we've got 2 diagonals to combine. X to the third comes out, nothing to combine it with. Negative 5x squared plus 2x squared is negative 3x squared. 14x minus 10x is 4x. 28 comes down. So the answer to the last one is x to the third minus 3x squared plus 4x plus 28. You know you are successful when you can multiply polynomials. Please get used to the box method because we will use the box method when we get ready to divide. So we are multiplying polynomials. So we learned two methods. We learned the box method, which will work on any. And we learned the FOIL, which is for binomials only. Because if you get anything bigger, it just doesn't work.